So you're a dad, right?
I am. I have 3 boys. I'm a longtime reader of the GeekDad blog,
Cool.
And I've done several of the GeekDad projects. And the best was the one that I liked the best. Was very easy. I made a bunch of LED bugs out of batteries and magnets, and we had a dozen of the things glowing around the house, and you know, that's great. And you know, it's a terrific blog and been a lot of fun for me. Been a real resource.
Cool. Well, that is definitely great to hear. So with your kids, what sort of thing do y'all do around the house?
Well, the new thing that I'm really into is I've discovered the ultimate toy for war, which is the foam. It's kind of this Nerf bow and arrow with these. It has almost like these bungee cords. Shoots beautifully. It's almost impossible to hurt anyone with it. I've got 4 of them now, which suffices for a battle. We can have teams of 2. You know, me with one of the kids and then 2 other kids. But I've already started to work out a plan for a war involving at least, 20 people with 10-man sides and 6 flags and, 3 green flags, 3 red flags. And, the key to making a really good game of battle work is you just have to agree that the arrows or the bullets or whatever they are have explosive tips, so no one can say they just got scratched when it hit them in the arm. You're dead.
Just nicked.
You have to go. No one just gets nicked. The second you got hit, you're dead. You have to go back to the spawning zone to get your next life, and But yeah, well, actually, another GeekDad idea that was in the book. The first GeekDad book was this idea of taking a video game or a role-playing game and doing it spread across the giant space of your yard or your local woods, and that's kind of what I like. I mean, I tell the kids that we're playing like multiplayer online, where we're playing with bows and arrows and stuff, and in some ways that's probably a little sad, huh?
No.
That now they need the video game metaphor.
So what's the Joe Hill gaming system of choice in your house?
Well, I think that it's hard to find a game platform that's more satisfying than the iPad at this point. I mean, I've got an Xbox 360. I loved Katamari Damacy. I thought Katamari Damacy was a remarkable and imaginative game. But for me, most of my gaming is on the iPad, and most of my kids play their games on the iPad, and I found that really enjoyable. I like a lot of this is moving away from the kids. I like a lot of the social games like Words with Friends. I play a lot. I play Rainier's, I'm blanking on his last name, Samurai, which is kind of like Risk crossed with Stratego or Othello, and that's a good one. But there's a lot of there's a lot of great possibilities for the iPad. What they need is a peripheral. They need a joystick, and I've got the Fling, and I've tried that, and that's okay.
Makes do.
Yeah, it makes do, but that's still not really doing it. And I'm surprised that no one has come up with a ubiquitous sort of Xbox-style controller that you can plug into the bottom of the iPad. And
hopefully that'll give someone an idea.
Hopefully, it's time.
What's a typical movie night around the Hill house?
Well,
y'all keep the horror?
I have a friend. I went away for a little while, and my friend watched the kids, and I called the first night I was away to ask my buddy Shane how the kids were doing, and he said, "Man, I don't understand. They're all crying." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Why? I told them we were going to sit down and watch Exorcist 2. I don't get it. It seemed like they loved the first one, and it's just like, thanks. I hung up on him. But no, I'm pretty careful about what my kids consume and what they see. I'm no surprise for a guy who's a big fan of the GeekDad blog. I'm working overtime to raise little geeks.
Right.
It's very important to me, and so we watch Doctor Who. We're up to the 5th season. We just started Matt Smith. I revere Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. I didn't watch it until I was a grown-up, but David Tennant, love David Tennant. In terms of movies, I guess I'm sort of trying to raise like Anglophile geeks, because it's Doctor Who for TV, and it's probably we skew towards Harry Potter for movies.
Okay.
They've really grown up with those films and enjoyed them a lot, and the books as well. My middle boy is loving the books, reading them second time, and so. No, and we watch we watch old war movies. We watch The Great Escape. I like The Great Escape. Steve McQueen, can't go wrong there. Yep.
I'll let you go take a sip.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, I was going to say, you know, you mentioned some sort of sci-fi sort of undertones there. Have you ever thought about writing anything in the sci-fi genre?
I have a science fiction novel called Gunpowder that's being written on the installment plan, and the first novella was published as a small press thing, as a limited edition, and the second one, that was just called Gunpowder, and the second one, Slave Girls of Gunpowder, is going to be later this year, come out next year, and eventually they'll make one complete novel, which will be published by, you know, my Main Street publisher, will be widely available. But Gunpowder is, it's kind of Lord of the Flies in space. You know, it's about this woman, a wonderful woman who is raising 30 boys on a sort of desert planet. And the boys are psi-formers, and they can use these kind of psychic powers to dream a world into existence. And the boys begin to talk about, they're supposed to take this desert planet and make it a farm planet, but the boys begin to talk about, well, what if we dreamed a planet that was a war planet, where, you know, the grass was all knives and the clouds rained arsenic, and things go wrong. So it's a science fiction story, but it's also kind of a fairy tale.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for talking.
Thank you. Thank you very much.